Is High Desert State Prison the most dangerous penitentiary in the state of California?
Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This one is a little bit different. I'm going off CDCR press releases once again in regards to High Desert State Prison and how dangerous this institution is. Now, High Desert's always been a very dangerous place. If you're on the level 4, 180, like a very dangerous place. Outside of the shoes, it's always been regarded as a very active, very intense place to do time. Now, uh, I have a couple of stories I'm going to tell you that have had press releases recently in regards to someone being unalived. And there was also an attempt on a CO's life there recently. I may have done a story on that, on the attempted unaliving of the CO, but we'll get into that. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, share the video. It really helps to get the message out because the channel is ultimately about sobriety, and I talk about these things that are happening in prison because ultimately, if you continue down that road of addiction, you're probably going to end up in prison at some point, and it's definitely not the place to be. So, uh, also hit that notification bell, and that way anytime I drop a new video or I go live, you'll be notified and you can check it out, and you can become a member of the channel. Just hit that join button and check out the different options. So let's get into the stories of the day. The story is coming out of Susanville, California, which is where High Desert State Prison is located. This is out in the middle of the mountains. It snows up there and stuff. Like it's a very isolated joint. And in Susanville, it says CDCR officials are investigating the November 26, 2024 death of an incarcerated person at High Desert State Prison. At approximately 6:13 p.m., High Desert State Prison staff observed incarcerated person Zachary Barron, I believe his name is. It may be Barone. My apologies if I'm saying that incorrectly. Attacking incarcerated person Juan Linares. Barron used an improvised weapon to stab Linares multiple times, allegedly. Uh, Officers responded and quelled the attack. They're saying that life-saving tactics were used, uh, but unfortunately, Mr. Linares was pronounced unalive at 7:09 p.m. at an outside hospital. Now, both of these inmates, the alleged aggressor and the victim, were in on murder charges. This is High Desert State Prison, though. Like on these level 4s, like you're surrounded by killers, you know. And honestly, you could go in on something a lot less minor and end up on one of these yards. It has happened time and time again. You come in with 16 months and you end up with a life sentence. Now, the victim in this case was sentenced to 36 to life and has been down since 2009. The alleged attacker has been down since 2019 and was sentenced to 14 to life. Now, with these 2 life sentences, a lot of these guys are getting action now on parole. But when I was doing time, if you had a 2 life sentence, it could be 5 to life. You weren't coming home. You were basically a lifer. It didn't matter what the number in front, whether it was 5, 14, 36, or 185. If you had a 2 life behind it, you weren't coming home. You were going to be denied parole. So When I was doing time back in '04, '05, '06, Susanville, which is across the street, which is like the fire camp training center, basically, a lot of us wanted to go there so that we could end up in one of these fire camps because that was the most lovely time you were going to do. Uh, everybody wanted to go to fire camp, but when I was in there, I wasn't sentenced to a long enough term to qualify to go to a fire camp. But I know a lot of the white guys wanted to go there for sure. Unless you were just really heavy into the politics and stuff, in which case then you wouldn't have been interested in that. But I didn't know what I was doing, and that honestly, that's where I wanted to go. I had a cousin that did time in Susanville, and ultimately ended up in one of these fire camps. I think he did 7, and he was in a nasty riot there. And that area there, Susanville, it's not known as one of the more hardcore pins, but High Desert definitely is. And is it the most brutal place in the Department of Corrections? I don't know. I wasn't there, but I've heard a lot of stories about like it's off the hook. Like they're definitely not fighting there. If something goes down there, stabbing. And also recently at the same place, there was an attempted unaliving of a CO 5 days earlier. I'll put some images up uh, in regards to what went down with that, and I'll try to put some of the news article up as well, so you can pause and read if you choose to do so. Like I said, I think I did something recently on that attempted unaliving at High Desert, so you can look at my playlist, my prison playlist, and probably find something on that. But yeah, High Desert State Prison, definitely not the business, not the place you want to be. Uh, these unalivings, they occur there way more frequently than they probably should. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do a story on for today. And, I just like, it's amazing how much violence occurs at this place. And to be honest with you, you know, half of the stuff that happens don't even get reported. If somebody doesn't get unalived, CDCR don't even drop a press release. So, there's a lot more happening there than people realize. You hear about a lot of these other joints like the New Kern Valley, uh, Calipatria's another one. I hear they call that the White House these days because there's a lot of made guys there. If you know what I mean, when they brought everybody out of the shoe, a lot of them ended up there. But I think when you have a lot of these made guys there, like it actually lowers the violence level to a certain extent because those guys don't want to get put back in the shoe. You know, I don't know if there's a bunch of made guys in the High Desert or not. I'm sure there's some there because they got spread out all over the country. But, this is just insane the amount of violence that occurs at High Desert. And the thing is, it's a level 4 180, which means, like when I was on the 3 yard at Delano, it's like a 270 design. Like it's a great big uh, day room. It's cell living, but with the 180, like it's broken off into sections. So it limits the amount of people that are in one place at one time, which makes it easier to quell violence when it occurs, I guess you would say. Whereas with the 270, there's a lot more people, so there's greater chance for bigger events to occur with a lot more inmates. Now, I want to say rest in peace to the victim here, and I want to offer my condolences to their family. Um, the thing is, it's not just the victim that gets affected by this. The alleged attacker, now he's probably looking at another life sentence. I don't know if that's really going to matter at this point, but like how does that affect the family? And how does it affect the family of the person that's not coming home now, you know? So, I mean, my condolences to everybody, and I, um, wish everybody the best. But ultimately, the best thing you can do is if you're fighting with addiction, you can go find a meeting or something and start working on a positive support group that will help you to become free from addiction. That way, you won't have to worry about ending up in places like this. My thoughts and prayers during during the holiday season goes out to everybody that's incarcerated. Whether you're in the softest of places or the hardest of places like this place, doing time sucks. I mean, some places you don't have to worry about whether you're going to make it back to your cell alive at the end of the night. But then again, I seen a press release for Mule Creek. There was an unaliving that occurred there. Prison is prison, and it's not some place that you want to end up because, like I said, no matter where you're at, like you could not make it through the day if something were to occur. So, I wish everybody the best. Like I said, it's about building a strong foundation around you. That way, when life comes at you on life's terms, you will have a good support group to help you to maintain your sobriety. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think. Is High Desert the hardest prison in the state of California? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, hit that notification bell so that anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you will be notified. Share the video. It really helps to grow the channel. And become a member. Hit that join button, and that's the best way to support the movement. I hope everybody's week is off to a great start. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that allowed me to get my life back in order and maintain my sobriety along with the help of Jesus. So, that's a good starting point. Like I said, build that strong foundation and don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.